Bank failures are tip of the iceberg under Biden's policies, economist warns. And I totally agree. We have a spending problem. That's one of the reasons was the banks are failing. And we also have a policy problem because Biden policies is destroying this country. And y'all know how I feel about it. I say it every time. It's by design. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have I Will Not Comply t-shirts as well. So check those out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. The recent failures of big banks in America are not because the system is failing. It's not because there's an overall banking crisis. It's not because there aren't enough bank regulators. It's because Joe Biden's inflation and his spending of trillions of dollars. That's according to an analysis by Steve Moore, the chief economist at FreedomWorks, who talked about his conclusions in an interview with Fox News. And I totally agree with that sentiment. Two banking corporations failed on Friday and over the weekend, and analysis have linked their problems to the investments in low interest bonds and the subsequent push to make interest rates higher in an effort to tamp down the inflation that has developed under Biden's economic policies. But yet, Democrats still support these out of control policies. I don't understand it. When are people going to wake up and start voting with their dollars? But I digress. Quote, I agree with the president that we don't have an overall banking crisis, Moore explained. The system is sound, but I do think you have a lot of major banks that are in some trouble. He goes on to say, and SVB, the Silicon Valley Bank, may just be the tip of the iceberg. He explained it is, quote, important for people to understand how this potential banking crisis happened. It's not because there aren't enough bank regulators, as Biden is trying to say. It's because the massive inflation and the trillions of dollars of borrowing that the federal government has done that has put our financial system in great jeopardy and great peril. That's why I said we have a spending problem. Government spending is out of control. They love spending other people's money. There's no accountability. They keep writing checks that they know the American people can't cash. They keep giving more money for wars. I mean, look at the billions of dollars we're giving to Ukraine. I mean, this is ridiculous, and they continue with these spending policies and expect us to get out of this in inflationary thing that's going on. But Moore explained Americans, quote, can't just keep doing this over and over, borrowing trillions and trillions of dollars. That's what I'm saying. They're just kicking it down the road. Soon the chickens are going to come home to roost. But what has happened, he noted, quote, because of the Biden spending and debt policies, is that not only did inflation go up, but interest rates have gone up. The Federal Reserve, in fact, has raised interest rates nearly a dozen times in recent months, which sucks for me who's trying to sell a house. But Biden has claimed that Americans can be, quote, confident in their banking system because of his response to the failures of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank in recent days. I'm not really confident. But federal officials said bank customers' accounts will be protected, although those who invested in the bank will not be. Sucks for them. And he claimed that taxpayers won't be on the hook to pay for the losses. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. The money got to come from somewhere. If not us, then who? But, quote, instead, the money will come from the fees that banks pay into the deposits insurance funds. Because of the actions that our regulators have already taken, every American should feel confident that their deposits will be there if and when they need them, he said. But they don't. But then the banks are going to pass those fees on to the people that use the bank. That's what's going to happen. The money has to come from somewhere. The bank isn't going to pay all that money. They're going to pass it on to their customers. So you're going to see bank fees go up. I think it's going to be ridiculous. And they're going to use this, I think, as an instance to move people over to the government's cryptocurrency. And that's what I think they're trying to do. They're trying to push us onto that so they can have more control over our money, and they could turn that tap off if they want. I think that's what this is all about. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.